All right, everybody, welcome to BO Boys for Sunday, May 11th. Fuck it, it's a raw feed. We're doing it live. I'm Clayton.
Yeah, I'm Pat. Happy Mother's Day out there. Happy Mother's Day, moms. We are YouTubers. Hey, guys.
Hey,
but,
guys.
But today, hey, moms.
Yeah.
Hey, moms.
Hey, Sigourney.
The moms are watching. Our moms are watching.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like there's a lot of moms just getting into box office in general.
Yes.
These days.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's moms who grew up. I mean, the generation of moms now, younger moms, grew up on this Something About Mary 6 cents box office time.
Well, I would say the biggest one, probably Titanic.
Yes.
For the moms.
Yes. So do you think a lot of young moms now came into box office because of the Leo Titanic
Absolutely.
run? Yeah.
I mean, they were in that weekend where it was Leo versus Leo.
Yes.
Of course, Titanic, Man in the Iron Mask against each other.
Right.
It was a weird Sophie's Choice because in Sophie's Choice, you don't have to pick between the same two kids.
You're picking between...
You're picking two different kids.
Yes.
This was picking
boy and a
the
girl.
same people.
Would that have been harder for Sophie if she had twins?
Yes.
And that was her choice. And twins. And they were twin Leos that she had to make the choice about.
That would have been impossible.
Yes.
Nigh impossible.
Yes. It's like she had a tough choice in her actual choice.
Yeah.
But that version of Sophie's Choice, she would have had to just walk away and be like, you figure it out.
Yeah.
You figure it out. Leo versus Leo, you figure it out.
Yeah. So I think that this is a generation of young moms who grew up on that.
Yes. Yes.
And they cried when Lost in Space finally beat Titanic to #1.
Yes.
They cried in their room. They
Yes.
said, why? Why? I thought this would go on forever. And then they realized nothing at the box office can go on forever.
Exactly. There has to be an end to everything. The young moms learned that then. Our moms, they became box office people probably from what? The Jaws run?
Star Wars.
Yeah.
The beginning of the blockbuster era.
Yeah. Our moms are the beginning of box office.
Yes.
Young moms are the Titanic era. And you know what? Hey moms, there's even younger moms.
Teen moms.
There's teen moms.
I said it. Teen moms.
There's teen
Not
moms.
a sponsor. MTV's Teen Moms.
No, I don't think they're sponsoring anyone anymore.
No.
Yeah, I think MTV Teen Mom has passed their brand partnership sponsorship days.
Yeah.
There's moms now who I guess came of age for box office on Iron Man and on the Marvel run, maybe?
Yeah, I mean Endgame.
Wow, okay.
You know.
Yeah. Hey, listen, hey teen moms.
Hey teen moms. Maybe we shouldn't have said that.
Maybe not. We're just saying hey.
Yeah.
That's
true.
We're just recognizing Happy Mother's Day
to all moms.
To all moms and wherever they got their start in being box office aficionados.
Yes.
Do you think this was a good... Well, I mean, let's get into a plow, and then we could also look at how this affected the moms this weekend, and maybe what effect the moms had on this box office. So could you give us a Mother's Day weekend plow for the box office of Friday, May 9th, 2025?
I would love to. #1, Thunderbolts * made $33.1 million, down 55%, is at $128.4 million in its second weekend of release. #2, Sinners made $21.1 million, down 36%. It added 155 theaters. It's at $214.4 million in its fourth weekend. #3, a Minecraft movie made $7.9 million, down 42%. It lost 103 theaters. It's at $408.9 million in its sixth weekend of release. #4, The Accountant 2 made $6 million, down 36%. It lost 208 theaters. It's at $50.8 million in its third weekend of release. And #5, Clown in a Cornfield made $13.6 million in its first weekend. And let's go one more down. No, two more down.
We'll do a few more.
Lucky number 11, and this is the most apropos lucky number 11 we've ever had.
Wow.
And we'll get to that when we get to 11.
I know why, yeah.
But #6, Lionsgate's Shadow Force made $2 million in its first weekend. And then #7, Schleven, Fight or Flight, starring Josh Hartnett,
Mm-hmm.
Schlevin himself,
Wow, he did it. He got to Schlevin.
also made $2 million in its first weekend. But Shadow Force eked out a win by $14,000.
Let's
So this could flip-flop on Monday.
Yeah, so when the Monday actuals come in, and I'm sure it's going to be a big news story on Monday, what came in 6th, what came in 7th, Shadow Force or Fight or Flight. I
Yeah.
think a lot of ink is going to be used on writing about the box office positioning of those two movies.
Yes.
So let's talk about those two movies first. We'll make our way up. We'll get to this Thunderbolts asterisk / the new Avengers situation. And
Yes.
we'll explain that because I think
Yes.
there's a lot of confused moms out there.
There is a ton of,
Yeah.
my very own mom.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we will explain that for the moms at a segment we call Marvel for the Moms later on. Trademark, it's going to be a huge segment.
Mhm.
So we'll get to that, but let's start with this Shadow Force Fight or Flight situation. How do people make a choice between those movies? I mean, this really was how do you decide what to see? You've got Josh Hartnett Fight or Flight, which is
Bullet Train on a Plane.
Bullet Train on a Plane. And then you've got Shadow Force, a movie we didn't mention in our weekend preview, but that is Kerry Washington in an action movie directed by Joe Carnahan.
Joe Carnahan.
Joe Carnahan, who I feel like has amongst us a bigger reputation than he deserves.
I think so, yeah.
That we think of him as a bigger deal, but he is the deal that he should be, I guess, directing Shadow Force.
Yeah.
I think we really hold Narc starring Ray Liotta into a higher esteem.
I think than most people.
Than most people do, yeah. And of course, Smokin' Aces,
Yes.
which doesn't need to be sequelized.
Mm-hmm. I'm so shocked at that. Well,
I can't
I believe there are sequels to
There
Smoking
are,
Aces,
okay.
but they're sort of the Jarhead sequel situation where
Yeah.
no real affiliation other than the IP.
Yeah. Piven's not coming back.
No.
We need and again, we're falling into the trap of putting Joe Carnahan on a higher pedestal than
Yeah.
he deserves, but we do need the Joe Carnahan properly directed sequel to Smokin' Aces.
So that's our
Piven's
Boondock
back in the
Saints.
bay. Yeah.
That's sort of our Boondock Saints.
Yes, 100%. That's our Boondock Saints. Well, our Boondock Saints is what's the Christopher Walken Street Kings? What is that movie?
Kings of New York?
No. That's
Suicide Kings.
Suicide Kings, of course. That Suicide Kings is our Boondock Saints.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Shadow Force.
Mm-hmm.
This really does sound like a Bruce Willis in a cameo in Croatia that they split up, into 10 different scenes where he's stuck in a closet. Like one of those movies.
And the Vanderpump Rules woman's husband produced it.
Yes, and Lala herself is the
in it.
co-star.
Lala's not in Shadow Force.
Lala is not in Shadow Force. So
Because I would be shocked. I'm shocked she's not.
Shadow Force stars Kerry Washington, Mark Strong, who stars in a movie that you just rewatched recently.
Brothers Grimsby.
Brothers Grimsby. It was a big must rewatch for Clayton recently.
Great film.
Also stars Method Man and
From How High?
From How High, which again, how has there not been an even higher?
Yeah,
That movie
yeah.
should have been sequelized. It also stars.
Well, there was one with Wiz Khalifa and Snoop Dogg. I believe it was How High too. I believe that exists.
It does exist. Okay, so we need.
But again, that is not Method in Red.
Yes, that is not the proper canon sequel.
Yeah.
Here's something that pains me to read.
Oh no.
This also stars recent Oscar winner Divine Joy Randolph. Is in Shadow
This was
Force.
shot before then. Then this had to be on the shelf.
I don't know if this was shot. Let me see. Production. The script was bought in 2019 by Kerry Washington's production company. And Sterling K. Brown. He also has a production company.
Okay.
And he was supposed to play the lead with Kerry Washington. And then I think he read the script that he bought, I assume.
And he said, what did I buy?
Filming started in August of 22. Filming wrapped in October 22. So yeah, she wins that Oscar in spring of 23. So the filming on Shadow Force wraps before Holdovers comes out, before Divine Joy Randolph. Got it. Did not mention Hugh Grant's friend. Divine Joy Randolph. So she films this before she wins the Oscar for The Holdovers.
Yeah.
So this makes sense.
She's very embarrassed that this is seeing the light of day.
Well, they don't. I will say, and I don't know if it would have affected the box office. Shadow Force, the poster for it, does not use Divine Joy Randolph on there. Okay. This is not a situation where they like put her as the main thing on the poster now that she's got an Oscar. It sticks with Kerry Washington, who's got a gun, and then all these red lights, red lasers are focused on her. Here's the thing. Good for Kerry Washington, who's a big TV star, but I can't think of, has she top-lined a movie of any note that...
Was she, was she in any of those domestic thrillers where somebody...
So Scandal is her big hit, Little Fires Everywhere. She was in she was in 2 of the Fantastic Four live action movies, the ones that got sequels. The Chris movie. She was in a lot of stuff. She was in Django and, but...
oh, that's right.
I think being the lead in an action movie, opening number 6 or 11, depending on the Monday actuals, you know what? This is solid for her. It's a movie that came out that she's the lead in, and she gets to have a gun on the poster. Not everyone gets to be able to have that.
No.
And she has that. And they didn't do the thing of putting Divine, Grace. That's always where I slip up, is if I get Grace in there, then that's going to screw me all the way through.
Yeah.
Divine Joy Randolph.
Yes.
They didn't put her holding her Oscar on the poster of Shadow Force.
No.
Which is a big win for Kerry Washington.
Although Kerry Washington, it looks like early on she had a pretty good run in the movies.
Yeah, Ray, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. So she listened.
Bad Company, I think, was her first big role.
Yeah, so no, she is a very known commodity. She is a star, not a movie star, but...
Yeah, but when you look at someone like, say, I think this is at a lower level than Viola Davis's actioneers. She has the Amazon one G20 or whatever, but what was the
well, she's Suicide Squad.
But also the Woman King.
Widows. Oh, yeah. Oh, of course. Yeah. Woman King. That was a huge movie.
That was a huge movie. And that's
like $30 million.
And that's a pivot to action. And a lot of these actors are pivoting to action. And it's an easy way to get a starring, not easy, obviously you have to earn this.
Yeah.
But it's a good starring vehicle for somebody at a certain age.
Oh, of course.
To get into these sort of action years.
Yes. It's the move. It's Shadow Force.
It's such a bad name. It's terrible.
That's the thing. That a name like Shadow Force, again, you're expecting this to be shot in Croatia by Lala's ex-husband.
It sounds
and you expect Lala to be in it.
Yeah.
If you tell me Shadow Force is a movie, I'm expecting at least one, if not 2 Vanderpump Rules cast members to be in this movie somehow.
Yeah.
And you tell me none are in it, then I'm like, what the hell happened?
Yeah, you're almost disappointed because you're like, Jax isn't in this?
Right. Get Jax in here.
Yeah.
Yeah. A movie, if you're calling your movie Shadow Force, I'm sorry, but Jax needs to be there.
But, and I'm a little bit shocked that it beat, and again, we're talking $14,000.
Right.
This swing could easily happen the other way.
Yeah, it could change on the Monday actuals.
I watched the trailer to Fight or Flight.
Yes.
Bullet Train on a Plane.
Yeah.
And you know me, this is absolutely not my sort of movie.
Yeah.
This movie is something that I would not choose. This type of movie is a movie I wouldn't choose to watch.
Yes. You're rewatching late 90s comedy movies.
I absolutely am.
Yeah.
Well, and
Sorority Boys. You're rewatching Sorority.
Well, that's 2000s, but yeah. Fired Up. I watched Fired Up. That's a great movie.
Yeah.
Sorority Boys. Very underrated.
Yeah,
film.
you're watching comedy movies where Bill Maher had a cameo.
Well, you talk about the famous Tom Cats, of course.
Yes, of course.
So
That's your speed.
that's my speed. But I saw this trailer,
Mm-hmm.
and I gotta say, this worked for me in a way that Bullet Train didn't work for me.
Yeah.
I think I'm really on the Hartnett train. Speaking of a movie,
Mm-hmm.
40 Days and 40 Nights is a movie that I watch over and over again.
Yes, yes.
And-
great. The Great Griffin Dunn, maybe his best scene ever.
Yes, yeah. The height of his dignity
Yes, the height of a man's dignity
is working at a startup, being the boss of a tech startup,
Yeah,
and accidentally drinking orange juice laced with boner pills,
yeah.
and having to spank off in a
Public bathroom.
restroom
Yeah.
in front of his pretty much everybody who works at the office.
Yeah.
To a porno magazine.
Were there surveillance cameras in that scene? Is that the setup of that? Is that
No,
sort
it's just
of
everybody knew.
They
He
heard.
ran in there and had to because he tried.
So he's screaming when he's masturbating from this boner pill drug.
It's loud. It's loud.
Yeah.
It's loud. I mean, this this is. It's a little uncomfortable to talk about this movie because obviously this is the Mother's Day episode.
Yes,
all the moms are going to be watching.
Yeah, yeah.
But this is what happened in this film. I'm not making any of this up.
Right. I mean, moms, we encourage you, go back, watch 40 Days and 40 Nights starring Josh Hartnett, who's in fight or flight. You'll have fun.
And
You need a laugh.
And if anything, I mean, this is the height of Shannon Sossman.
It's
This is the height.
yeah.
This is when she was in almost everything.
Yeah.
People were loving Shannon.
Yeah. So to borrow a term from a competitor for Best Podcast at the Golden Globes, would you say that 40 Days and 40 Nights is Apex Mountain for Shannon Sossaman as a star and for Griffin Dunn's dignity?
Griffin Dunn's dignity, for sure.
Yeah.
Sossman, that definitely could be
The Rules of Attraction.
Rules of
course.
Attraction.
Yeah. That's
Roger
her
Avery's
Apex.
magnum opus. Of course, we cannot see Glitterati. Would love to listen. If anybody in Hollywood
Invite us to the parties.
invite
We'll
us to the
watch it.
parties.
Yeah.
So anyway, back to this.
Yeah.
Hartnett works for me in this role.
Yeah.
I think it's the level of star and the level of movie that fits together well for me.
Yeah.
And I'm interested in seeing him doing a very physical film, fighting, which I don't think I've really ever seen him do. I know he did a lot of the Guy Ritchie movies recently, but I don't know if he was doing a lot of hand-to-hand combat.
It's a lot of gunplay in those movies.
Yeah, but I mean, this looked fun to me. So I'm sort of shocked that Shadow Force overtook this.
I am too, but you know what? Just because we didn't preview it on our last episode doesn't mean that there wasn't an audience
Yeah.
that was excited for this movie to come out.
Kerry Washington.
And Kerry Washington, I would say this is all Kerry Washington because it's none of the promotion. I did not see any promotional partners, unlike something like Thunderbolts Asterix had all these promotional partners that were irreverent brands.
Yes,
Tide
irreverent.
being irreverent,
Yes.
Harley Davidson when they were at their most irreverent.
Steakum.
Steakum, a very irreverent brand, teaming up with Thunderbolts Asterix to get the word out. I don't think there were any irreverent brands that did big brand partnerships with Shadow Force.
No.
So this is all Kerry Washington. And again, we're talking about a movie that made double digits and opened up number 2, but the money it made is all on people wanting to go see Kerry Washington because Shadow Force seems like a fake title or again a Vanderpump Rules cast member title movie. So people are fighting through the title of Shadow Force to get to seeing this movie.
They're
because
holding
of
their
her-
nose.
Yes.
Even purchasing a ticket where they don't have to say the name.
Yes.
They're just thinking the name.
Yeah.
And so they're holding their mental nose.
Yeah, but they know Kerry Washington will be on the other end of whatever this Shadow Force is.
And again, like we've said a million times, the reason these movies should go to theaters is because when you are then going through the streamers or your favorite PVOD platform
Yep.
and you see a Frank Grillo movie and you see a movie that has Lala in it
Yes.
and,
Jax Taylor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and Mark Paul Gosselaar,
Yes.
and the guy from the
Well, Buddy Lembeck.
Buddy Lembeck.
Yeah.
You're gonna say, well, I don't know, because Shadow Force was a real movie.
Yeah. The
'Cause
B.O.
it
Boys spent
has-
about a half hour talking about it.
It has box office.
Yes.
And that matters.
That matters. That matters.
It was number 6.
Number 6 or lucky number 11,
11.
depending on the Monday actuals. But either way, Shadow Force is a movie that we are now probably in minute 40, 45 of talking about on this valuable platform, the B.O. Boys.
The most valuable of all platforms for films.
Yes, 100%. And that's going to matter downstream.
Yes.
So Lionsgate getting this into, how many theaters did this get into? This was in 2,100 theaters.
So Clemmer is seeing this.
Yeah.
The compact critic,
Yep.
Chris Clemmer,
Had to see Shadow Force, had to see Fight or Flight,
had to see Clown in a Cornfield.
And we got to go down a little bit. Where is the Juliet and Romeo movie? Where did that come in? Because the compact critic, it's not showing up on the numbers top 10.
Okay.
But I do think in Deadline, it had Juliet and Romeo in the top 10, because that is a movie that the compact critic had to see and did see
Wow. Okay.
in theaters.
And you went with him because you're best friends.
You know what? We're great friends, becoming better friends every day. Not at the level of friendship where I would go see Juliet and Romeo, because I mean it looks pretty bad, and he
Okay.
confirmed it was awful.
Okay.
And Tromeo, listen, if it was Tromeo and Juliet getting a re-release, I'm there.
I'm there too.
Well,
Not with Chris.
not with the compact critic.
All due respect to Chris, but everybody who watches this show knows my loyalty.
So Juliet and Romeo came out in 1,300 theaters and did a 3-day of $350,000. So this was a gigantic bomb, Juliet and Romeo, which I think is a modern pop version of the Bard's famous Romeo and Juliet story.
The Bard.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's the classy Mother's Day episode. We call him the Bard.
Yeah.
Any other episode, he's Billy Shakes.
Yep.
And we talk about how he was known for shaking his booty and,
Yeah.
and all that. And we go on and on. And that audience loves it.
Yeah.
But Mother's Day episode, he's the Bard.
It's the Bard and Griffin Dunn in a public restroom at work, jacking it.
Yeah, that's the Mother's Day episode. So Juliet and Romeo, not doing the numbers. I mean, we mentioned Leo earlier, the Titanic run. Not doing the numbers of Leo's Romeo and Juliet
No.
from the 90s with Claire Danes. Not at that level. So anything else we want to say on Fight or Flight? Do you like the trailer? Will that be enough to get you in the theater, or will it be enough to get you if it's a $4 PVOD rental downstream to watch Fight or Flight?
Oh, that's the thing is, listen, we're the BO boys. We're not the Streamo boys.
Huh?
But once in a while, you're at home
Mhm.
and you've watched all of YouTube,
Yes.
you know.
You got to the bottom where it finally it puts up the colored bars and said YouTube is, going
Yeah.
to sleep for the night. It's
And
3 a.m. We're done.
And you've watched and rewatched all the Behind the Backdoor pilots.
Yes. Great series on
yeah.
YouTube. Yeah.
And so you need something.
The Charles in Charge episode, I think, should win a Webby.
Oh, with the two Buddy Lembecks?
Two Buddy Lembecks, where he plays his own cousin.
Yeah.
Great episode. Would love a team up with that channel.
Absolutely.
Because we are YouTubers. Hey, guys.
Hey, guys. And they are YouTubers.
Hey, guys.
guys.
Yeah.
So, this is a click. I mean, this is worth $5 to me downstream.
Yeah. So in Anthony D is for Disney D'Alessandro's must-read Sunday right through on Fight or Flight. That's a Vertical Entertainment movie. And he says Vertical wants to be taken more seriously in the wider release specialty business. They're handling Ron Howard's period all-star thriller with Sydney Sweeney, Ana de Armas, Vanessa Kirby, and Jude Law later this summer. So Ron
Sweeney.
They got a Sweeney. They got
but Ron Howard.
Ron Howard feeling at home at Vertical Entertainment it in a way feels bad to say that because we
It
grew up on the
does.
Ron Howard of Apollo 13 and just being one of the biggest directors there is.
Yes.
And to say that now, yeah, Ron Howard directing a film for Vertical Entertainment, that feels right. It feels
Yeah.
wrong that feels right.
It does, yeah.
But it does feel right.
But when you look at that cast, though,
Yeah.
it makes me feel better about where he's landed.
Yes.
Because that means, like Anthony's saying, Vertical is saying, hey, we want to take this seriously.
Yes.
And Ron Howard's a guy looking for a rebound.
Yes.
And I believe he can rebound.
I hope so. I mean, listen, this didn't come up at all in our summer movie preview, but it's a movie called Eden with Ana de Armas, Vanessa Kirby, Sydney Sweeney, Jude Law, directed by Ron Howard. And looks like a jungle thriller.
Okay.
And it's going to be released U.S. by Vertical August 22nd. That's a rough spot. August 22nd is
End of summer.
None
of us would take that movie because it's the very end of the draft.
Anyway, so Vertical is trying to up their game, and this is a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you know what? This is a good for getting in theaters situation with those two movies. Neither of them were going to catch fire. Clown in a Cornfield.
Based on a popular book that I was just at several bookstores this weekend and prominently featured.
Wow. Is this then, so this movie came in number 5.
Mm-hmm.
It made $3.6 million. No great shakes at the per theater, 1,600 per theater, fine. Is this less of a big win for the movie company, for RLJ Entertainment? Is this a huge win for the book publisher of Clown in a Cornfield?
Oh, I think so.
Are they the big winner?
Well, if you are somebody who, sees a commercial for this movie or sees a poster for this movie at the bus stop or in a subway train.
Right.
And then you walk by a bookstore on your way to the legal weed store.
Yes.
And you get really, really stoned.
Mm-hmm.
And then you say, oh, wow, it's a book and a movie.
Right.
Trippy, man.
Yeah.
And you're like, whoa, what if I open the book and the movie plays? I gotta find out. And then you go and you buy the book.
Well, the thing is, they went to the weed store, bought the weed, hung out with the guy who runs the weed store for like 4 hours.
4 hours, yeah.
Just like staring at the guy's cat.
Yeah.
Finally walks back, passes the bookstore, sees the book. Bookstore is closing up at this point.
All right. So, well, this is the worst case.
This is the worst case scenario. Yeah. Yeah. That your customer got so stoned that he missed the time when the bookstore was opening.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe the employee is like closing up when this guy is out there and
banging on.
But do you let him in? I mean, he's.
Well, did the person just see Sinners? I mean, Sinners is a phenomenon. Did the person at the bookstore see Sinners? And the guy's out there being like, let me in.
And he's like, oh, I've heard that before. Yeah, I just saw Sinners in IMAX.
Yeah. 70 millimeter.
Listen, Sinners made made 21 million.
Down only 30 something.
Yeah, good chance that the guy who owns his bookstore just saw Sinners and is not excited about letting someone in. I mean, the thing is, this guy, he just came from the weed store.
Mm-hmm.
He's
legal weed store.
He's not on bath salts. Like, I think that's what I hope that this bookstore clerk knows is that this guy is not on bath salts. He's high, but it's just weed, man.
Yeah.
And he just wants to buy Clown in a Cornfield because he saw the poster. He saw that it's a book. He thinks that's trippy.
Yeah.
But he's not on bath salts.
Mm-hmm.
But it's hard to know that if you're the bookstore clerk.
The last thing you want is for your family at your funeral, closed casket funeral, because you got torn apart.
Right, they buy
to say, our son, who has passed, being torn to shreds by somebody on bath salts.
Right.
His last words were, "I don't think he's on bath salts."
I thought it was weak.
I thought it was weak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now that's the last sentence. Obviously, that's a long sentence to be your last words.
Right. Right.
But I mean,
But you want it to be coherent because it's
Yeah.
the last thing. It's the thing they have to say at your funeral.
that's true.
Yeah, that's a bad spot. And then especially if the parents at the funeral, their son got torn apart by some guy on bath salts who wanted to get into this bookstore. And the mom is saying, I don't understand why he let someone in. He just saw Sinners in IMAX. He should have been more wary of letting people in.
Yeah, my baby learned nothing from Sinners.
Yeah. Yeah.
Our family is now shamed.
Right. Because it's not like Sinners did John Carpenter's Vampires numbers.
No.
Where it made 6-7 million total. You figure most people didn't see it. I mean, Sinners is a phenomenon.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, if you're getting killed by letting in someone who's yelling, "Let me in," and they're on bath salts and they eat your face off, in the time when Sinners is a box office phenomenon, you're going to get ridiculed at your funeral for that.
Yeah.
All to say, I do think even with that kind of scenario, the sales of the Clown in a Cornfield book are probably way up because of this movie opening weekend. Again, another reason that it only helps when a movie goes to movie theaters.
Yeah.
Because if Clown in a Cornfield, if it went straight to Shudder, I think it would help book sales, but not like what it's doing being a theatrical release.
And this is a big win for them because this is their biggest opening.
It's bigger than they were the Late Night with the Devil.
And that opened at 2.8.
Wow.
So they're moving up. I mean, that's the thing. It's like we talked about Late Night with the Devil. We were shocked when this movie made 2.8.
Yep.
Now, Clown in a Cornfield, 3.6.
Yeah.
I mean, this is good momentum.
Yeah, these numbers seem small, but these distributors, these vertical entertainments, these RLJs, I mean, Lionsgate is always in the weird spot where they're like the 5th or 6th biggest movie company, but
and they put out movies that make as much as vertical entertainment movies make.
Lionsgate is just a movie company that keeps bad company, and I think when it tries to go hang out with a Warner Brothers or a Sony, they sort of like look the other way because you're hanging out with Vertical.
Yeah.
And now you also want to come over to my house. It's like, are you going to bring Vertical over to the Warner Brothers lot? Like, that would be weird.
Yes.
Maybe just go hang out with RLJ Entertainment, hang out with Vertical, hang out with IFC Midnight.
Yeah.
That's more your type.
Yes.
So Lionsgate is in that weird spot. If they want to hang out with the cool kids, or not the cool kids, but the rich guys.
Yeah, rich guys.
And then they're hanging out with RLJ. But I mean, a weekend like this is what that's what those movie companies want to do. They want to make $3.6 million on a Clown in a Cornfield. Is this going to be leggy, do you think?
Well, I mean, Anthony is saying that this is bound to make more than Late Night with the Devil, which made $10 million.
Wow. Okay.
This movie has a 31-day theatrical window until PVOD, which is great.
And then we're not the Streamo Boys, huh? But it's going to do great PVOD because of all the press it's getting as a movie theater release.
Absolutely. And it's got a C+ cinema score, which is for horror, fine.
Yeah. People went in there and they didn't think it would be scary, and then it was.
Yeah.
Which is on them.
And under 35%. Okay, so mostly guys, 56%. With the 25 to 34 demo, we're the best at 38%. Yeah, it looks like this is young skewing.
Okay.
It's skewing under 35, which is good.
Do we think that any moms were going to see this movie, Clown in a Cornfield? What generation of moms? This is not...
Teen moms.
Okay, so...
This is a teen mom movie, and they're holding the baby. They brought the baby.
Yeah.
They brought the baby.
And that doesn't get you an extra ticket, though, which I'm sure RLJ Entertainment is probably like, come on, charge these babies.
Yeah, charge the babies.
But it's a tough sell, especially on Mother's Day weekend, to take up the mantle of charge the babies.
Yeah, and then you have the ushers coming to take the babies because they didn't pay.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's a bad scene.
That's a bad scene.
Because then there's no place to put the baby, so you're just holding a baby now.
Yeah, you're bound to go viral in the wrong way.
Yeah.
If you're the movie company saying charge the babies, just let it go.
Yeah.
I would say the Jaws moms, the moms who came of box office age for Jaws, probably almost none of them went to see Clown in a Cornfield. No. I think the moms who came of age in the Titanic run maybe were going there. At that point, they'd be going there because they ended up just marrying a guy who's like that's okay. I think that
are they married to an edgelord or something?
Yeah, that's a
clown with a chainsaw, babe.
Yeah, that's a so I married an edgelord situation.
Yeah.
And try and maybe extricate yourself from that situation, moms. If you're a mom who married an edgelord and your husband, and again, you're middle-aged, edgelord husband is saying on Mother's Day weekend, we've got to go to Clown in a Cornfield.
Yeah, it'll be so fucking stupid.
It'll be so stupid.
It'll be so stupid if I took you that for Mother's Day, took you to Clown in the Cornfield. How fucking stupid would that be?
Right.
That's so stupid.
Yeah, that's a marriage that you I think have got to put an expiration date on.
Come on, baby, it's so dumb. So dumb. Let's do it. It's so dumb.
So you really get this guy.
I've seen that guy. I know that guy.
You've seen this guy. Yeah.
I know that guy.
Wow. Ugh. Okay.
I knew that guy, I guess I could say. I knew that guy. I no longer want anything to do with that guy.
But you knew that guy.
I knew that guy.
And I got to ask you this because it's on air.
Guy was not me.
No, I don't think it was you.
Okay.
Your mom wasn't in this situation. Your mom wasn't in it, so I married
Sigourney
an
would never do that.
Okay. She wasn't in that.
No. Huey and Sigourney, they have a great thing going.
Okay. Yeah. Great. Yeah, I think if you're a mom and you saw Clown in a Cornfield this weekend, it might be a bit of a tough beat for you.
Listen, I never do. You do this all the time.
Okay.
You love to do this all the time, but I'm going directly to camera.
That's
I'm
your
going
camera
directly
over
to
there.
the moms, okay? Yeah. And I'm going to say, this is your day, and do with it what you will and what you want. And if you want to leave, leave.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm going to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Very important message from the BO boys.
Yes.
And I think here's the one that I think had some mom love this weekend. I do think Fight or Flight had some moms from the came of age in the Titanic box office era.
Hartnett was probably there, like very close.
Yeah.
To that sort of poster boy.
Yes.
I think there's a lot of walls that had a lot of Leo.
A
little bit of Hartnett.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
Just peppered in.
So I do think there were some Mother's Day weekend where the situation was you stay home with the kid.
Yeah.
I'm going to see Fight or Flight.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, oh, I'd see that. It's like Bullet Train on a plane. I love Bullet Train. It's like, this one's for me. This one's for mom.
Yes.
You watch them. Just make sure they don't die.
Yeah.
You got to promise me that.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I'm out the door anyway. So just deal with it. Because Hartnett's in the theater.
Yeah.
I think that happened a lot this weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, not enough to get it to 10 million, to get it to be a big breakout opening weekend. But I do think there were some moms who told their husband, I'm spending Mother's Day with Josh Hartnett.
Yeah.
Because that's what I wish my life had turned out to be. And it didn't.
It didn't.
It didn't. So give me these 2 hours.
But I will say,
I could pretend.
I will say, it only turned out that way for one person, Josh Hartnett's wife.
Yes.
And that is a very small percentage of the population. So you can't blame yourself that you did not become this small percentage shot.
Right.
You know, like, or this person that, like,
she's 0.00001% of the world's population.
Yes.
Is Josh Hartnett's wife.
So, like, that's a near impossibility.
Yes. You can't be upset that Josh Hartnett is not the father of your child, that the father of your child is whoever this guy is.
This fucking guy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, you know what? I get it. This fucking guy is not Josh Hartnett, but it just wasn't going to happen because he married one person.
He did. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, it
he's
is
not
not
a
a polygamist. Yeah.
He's not a
He's not a polygamist.
Yeah, yeah. But they got those 2 hours at fight or flight where they could, you know, pretend their actual life isn't happening.
Yeah.
And instead they're on that airplane being saved by Josh Hartnett.
And I'm sorry, moms.
Or working with him,
Yeah.
or you know, being his antagonist if that's their thing.
Yeah.
Whatever their thing is, these moms.
Mm-hmm.
2 hours, fight or flight, that was their Mother's Day.
And if you're married to a polygamist that is not Josh Hartnett, leave him.
Leave.
You got it. Come on.
Yeah.
All right.
Direct to camera. If you are, what is the name of the show, the polygamy show on TLC?
Mormon wives?
Yeah, My Mormon Wives. If you are one of the wives from that show, My Mormon Wives, leave. Leave. If you are a viewer of the BO Boys on YouTube, because we are YouTubers, hey guys, and you are one of the stars of My Mormon Wives, just leave.
Mm-hmm.
Just leave. Mother's Day weekend, just leave.
Yeah.
So very special messages here for all kinds of moms. So Minecraft movie, I'm sure there was a lot of moms who were taking their kids to see this. That's a situation where the Mother's Day gift was they'll stop talking for 2 hours.
But they'll scream at the screen.
They'll scream at the screen, but it's
Yeah.
not your screen in your living room.
That's true. Yeah. And you don't have to clean up that popcorn.
Yes. So that is, if you're a mom taking your kids to see, what is this, weekend 6 of Minecraft movie? We're in weekend 6. Made $7.9 million. What a phenomenon.
I know.
If you're a mom who took your kids to see a Minecraft movie this weekend, this was just, I won't have to pick up their shit
Yeah.
when they throw it all over the place.
They do this all the time, everywhere anyway.
Yeah, yeah. And at least now, some pimple-faced teenager or an old man whose kids won't take care of him.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, it's not on them. God knows what he did. But the old man or the pimple-faced teenager, they're cleaning this shit up, not
Yeah.
me.
Yes, for once.
For
For
once.
effing once.
Yeah, for effing one. So you know what? For the moms who took your kids to see Minecraft movie this weekend for Mother's Day, you didn't have to pick it up.
No.
It's not on you.
And I think there's a lot of moms going to see 2 Michael B. Jordans.
Oh, yeah, Sinners.
Because
that's the mom's
that's
night
like
out.
if there was 2 Leos in Titanic.
Yes.
That's the jackpot. Is, you know, we talked about the Man in the Iron Mask Leo versus Titanic Leo. This is both in one movie. This is 2 Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
smoke and stack.
So this is, I would say, the moms who were moms a night out for Sinners.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was a lot of the moms who came of age in the Titanic box office run. And the moms who came of age, I would say, in the 2000s, which would be like the Pirates of the Caribbean run.
Mm-hmm. Transformers.
These are a
Yeah.
lot of Transformers moms. A lot of moms who their first box office was Pirates and Transformers. Now they're moms.
And thinking Shia LaBeouf, man, he's going to be the next big.
He's the next Tom Hanks.
He's the next Tom Hanks.
Yeah. Those moms, Sinners was their mom's night out this weekend. And that's a good spot to be in.
Yes.
I think those are the moms who got to see Sinners this weekend as mom's night out. They're the ones who are in a really good spot.
Well, let's get to it then.
Okay. Number 1, we're finally getting to it.
Thunderbolts asterisk. Okay. So
Okay.
let's break this down.
Okay, let's do it for
'Cause
the
I
moms
know
because they are confused.
There was a lot of confusion.
Yeah.
Last episode, we were very excited about a movie called New Avengers.
Yes.
Which we had not heard about. We thought Marvel was doing a surprise release, which we were against because we thought it was a stupid idea, but we thought it would have gotten out enough marquees, posters.
Yeah. It's a new Avengers movie.
It's a
we
new
figured
Avengers
it's
movie.
got to open over 200 million.
Yes. And so here's the deal.
Yeah.
And it's even worse.
Yeah. So moms, listen to this because we know you're confused.
It's even worse than surprise releasing a new Avengers movie right after the opening weekend of a Thunderbolts movie.
Right.
So apparently, the big, and it's known now. This is known.
now.
And,
This is known.
and there's so much confusion that we have to make it known.
Yes.
And obviously, this thing dropped 50%. It's Shang-Chi, so we're not ruining anything for anybody. The hardcores have seen this.
Yes.
The general public does not care.
Yeah.
This team is now officially the new Avengers.
Yes. So it's the same movie.
It's the same movie.
Thunderbolts * New Avengers is the same movie.
So you basically change the name of a crappy movie that people thought was okay to besmirch the Avengers IP, and didn't just initially call this Avengers to try to sucker in the fanboys and make it a $200 million opening.
Yes.
So Marvel and Disney are a pack of morons.
Wow.
This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Oh my God.
And they should be ashamed. They should be ashamed of themselves.
Wow.
And the marketing team should be fired.
Wow.
Scorched earth, every single person. The guy who gets coffee for the marketing team should be out on his effing ass.
Wow.
Effing A. I'm sorry, I should have said A, but.
Wow. I mean, you are going right now full the Ace Eric Weber.
Yes.
Midnight Movie Talk. Fire everyone.
Pat,
'Cause that is a big thing.
I should have had my Reagan hat on because this is the air traffic controllers.
Oh, wow.
You're done. You're out. You're done.
Wow. Well, I mean, his spirit clearly lives on because I do think air traffic controllers are getting fired left and right. But you would have fired the marketing team for the Thunderbolts / the New Avengers.
Yeah. Scorched earth, baby.
Wow.
Nobody left in. I mean, you go in there and you see tumbleweeds.
Tumbleweeds in the offices
because
of
there's no one
Disney.
there. Because there's no one there in the marketing team. All fired. All fired.
The tumbleweeds got in the elevator that quickly.
So quickly. They know. They can sense it.
Wow. They know when a whole team is about to get laid off. They know a scorched earth situation in an office. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this movie dropped 55% from its opening weekend with the big title change marketing stunt where, God, did you see the video?
I did. You sent it to me. This sad
Julia Louis-Dreyfus and
Florence
Miss Flo,
Florence Pugh.
the entire cast, David Harbour, and Miss Flo struggled with. They had a poster for Thunderbolts *, and then she had to tear it across to reveal the new title, The New Avengers.
Yeah.
And she was struggling with it physically, where it was pre-ripped, so she started ripping it, but then it didn't rip the right way, so it revealed some of the word new, but then not all of it, and she was struggling with it, and finally she got it off, and they had to, keep their cheering and laughing going through this struggling. And
I care that she was struggling.
You care that she was struggling.
I cared that she was struggling.
She was struggling with this poster reveal physically, but I would say even more so mentally and emotionally. Miss Flo knew. She knew
this was stupid.
This was stupid, that this was a embarrassing situation that she was in.
Yeah.
Pulling off this title reveal 3 days into the movie's release.
Yeah.
That the title was sort of changing, and she had to do that by pulling a pre-ripped poster.
But they didn't even go in on this.
They didn't go all in on this.
They didn't have a commercial ready with the new title.
Yes.
They didn't have posters ready to be taken right out from the Thunderbolts poster should have been able to been taken out of the frame, and then the Avengers poster should have been there.
I mean, the
theaters,
Thunderbolts poster should have been lit on fire. It should have been like that trick paper where it could just burn up. Like all of the posters of Thunderbolts * at every AMC, every Regal in America, there should have been a button pressed that at the midnight hour, boom, they all catch on fire, explode, go away. It's trick paper.
Yes.
So it's not going to cause massive building burnings.
Or it's
trick paper.
Or it shreds like that Banksy. Remember when the person bought the Banksy and put it up on the...
Yes.
And then it shredded itself?
If they were serious about this
They get Banksy to do the poster.
They would have got Banksy to do.
They got the money.
They got.
They're paying
money.
the pizza. They're paying the Pizza Bros.
Right.
The Russo brothers.
Take some of that Russo brothers Pizza Bros
the Pizza
money
Boys.
And give it to Banksy.
Yeah.
So that he could do a worldwide theatrical stunt of all of the Thunderbolts Asterix posters get shredded or set on fire. Again, they've got the special paper.
Yeah.
And he also just reveals himself. That should have been the stinger. Is Banksy? He changes all the posters, and then he's like, "Hey, it's me, Ethan Embry. I've been Banksy the whole time."
Wow, that's shocking.
Yeah.
That would be shocking.
It would be shocking, but that's my
your guess.
That's been my theory for years.
Wow.
Yeah, and then that's something.
Ethan Embry.
Then you've got something that people are paying attention to.
Mm-hmm.
If you have Banksy shredding all of the Thunderbolts posters to reveal New Avengers posters, revealing himself in a stinger to be Ethan Embry, then people say, wow, this is a huge deal, this title change.
Yes. And, I mean, go to this movie to see Banksy get revealed.
Yes. Which I will say...
that's sort of...
That's niche. You know, we're coastal elites. For us, man, Banksy reveals himself to be Ethan Embry in this new movie. We're there, obviously. Plain Billies, Stax Dwellers, Earth Dogs. I don't know if they care that much.
I mean, it would have been like if one of the, we were talking about one of the Transformers movies and how big those were. If like at the end of one of the Transformers movies, they revealed who JT Leroy actually was.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That would have been big for us, but not for the general public.
Yeah. I mean, we love a publishing mystery, of course, but
because it was just like,
wow.
Who's JT? I was like pulling my hair out. Who's JT Leroy?
Yeah, they reveal that at Transformers.
Yeah.
$3 billion. That's an Avatar level success. But I do think Banksy doing the stunt where all of the posters get shredded, that would have been huge.
Yeah.
That would have been huge. And it would have shown, man, they're serious about this.
Yes.
Instead, they had Florence Pugh.
Miss Flo. Struggling
with pulling a pre-ripped tab off of a poster to reveal a new title in what was one of the most embarrassing videos that's ever been on the internet. And that just showed people this is a joke.
Yeah.
It is not a stunt from a big serious company. This is a goof.
This is a goof. It's an effing goof.
This is a goddamn goof. And they all look like they were part of a goof. Did you see any of the videos where they had cast members going around and putting up new posters around LA?
Oh my God.
And they shot it with viral videos. So they had iPhones, just happened to be there when
just so happened
Sebastian Stan went to a bus stop to put up a new poster of the New Avengers over the Thunderbolts poster. And listen, I know you're not a Sebastian Stan.
No.
You looked at his Oscar nomination as, not actually a big deal, whatever. But you've got to feel like that is beneath him.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think David Harbour used to, for a living, plaster up posters.
So he did these fast.
He did these really fast.
Out all of his in like
he threw his in the garbage and said, I'm done, and went back and was like,
right.
Hey, give me my money.
Exactly.
He knows how to do it.
Yeah. So he's good.
He's good.
You give him all of these New Avengers posters and tell him put them up around town. He's not getting embarrassed because he's just throwing them in the trash.
And then he's going to have a sub sandwich, and then he's like, this seems like enough time. And then he goes back to the office. He's like, yeah.
But
fuck you, pay me.
But Sebastian
Stan,
money. He's an actor who takes everything seriously. So he went and he's making sure that there's enough glue and it's flat. And
because he was that guy for a moment.
He was that guy. Yeah.
He was like, what's my motivation? Like, am I doing this for mother and baby?
Right.
Like,
what is my trauma that led me to being here, being the guy who's putting up a New Avengers posters at a bus stop?
Yeah.
So he's taking it seriously, which is the most embarrassing part. And I do feel like that's beneath him. Even if you are not a big Sebastian Stan deserved an Oscar nomination this year person.
Mm-hmm.
You do feel the guy did just get an Oscar nomination.
Yeah.
And now he is
Putting up posters.
At a bus stop for a movie that is not bombing, but is not going to be a sensation. And he's pretending he's in an Avengers movie.
And it's like this.
An Avengers movie that just made $33 million.
Oh, my God. In the second weekend. What a failed promotional stunt.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing for everybody involved.
It's embarrassing. Why did they do this? Why not have just from the start called this the new Avengers?
Yeah.
And it would have opened over $100 million. And I know last weekend we thought it was a new Avengers movie. It's going to open 200. But if they had just from the start called this Thunderbolts movie the new Avengers and nothing else changes, it would have made more money. And you're calling it the new Avengers anyway in this failed stunt, which is already doing damage to the Avengers IP.
Yeah.
So why not have done that same damage from the start and made some more money on this movie?
This will cost Doomsday money.
Wow.
Like, Doomsday will lose money because of this failure.
Because of the Miss Flo Instagram video.
Yeah.
Where she's struggling with pulling that title reveal off of that poster.
Yeah.
Like, that will affect the brand. That Instagram video does affect the brand going forward.
Yeah. Man, this is embarrassing. What a failure. They can't wait for Fantastic Four First Steps to come in and hopefully do something. But now they announced, I don't know if it's official, but they're giving this Thunderbolts director X-Men.
Wow. Well, listen, we haven't seen Thunderbolts Asterix or Asterix the New Avengers. Who knows if he's any good? I mean, the thing is, doesn't matter. Their auteurs are the pizza boys.
That's true. That's true. They're better at making a margarita pizza. And who knows? Their pizza could be shit.
I would assume the Pizza Boys pizza is not good.
Okay.
I would assume so. I mean, listen, I know these are the auteurs who directed the paintball episode of Community.
And then
which
the
others
sequel
tell us is
to that, which is The Godfather 2 for a lot of people.
Yes.
Better than the original.
Yes. And, we've never seen these, but apparently these are the greatest piece of arts of this century.
Yeah.
But since then, these Pizza Boys have become a giant joke.
Yeah.
And they are the auteurs of Marvel.
Yeah.
So I think this guy who directed Thunderbolts, give him an X-Men movie, give him Spawn, give him whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter. It all comes down to, are there going to be enough chairs from that live stream to get people's attention to go see these movies?
That's true, yeah.
If you're Robert Downey Jr. And you've got your money addiction and you're scratching because you need more money.
Yeah.
And you're just freaking out.
I need that green.
I need that green. I need that money.
And it's like, he's not on bath salts. He's addicted to money.
He's not on bath salts.
No.
That is for sure. If Robert Downey Jr. is saying, let me in, he's not on bath salts, but he's probably going to try and rob you of your cash because he needs that money.
He just wants what's
He's
in the register, and everything else will be fine.
And he's not going to use that money to buy bath salts. He just needs to pile up money.
No, he just needs to have it.
And if you're Robert Downey Jr., you've got your money addiction, you're scratching, need more cash, and you look at this Thunderbolts Asterix New Avengers stunt, and you look at Miss Flo struggling with that title reveal. He's scratching, but he's smiling because he knows they are so completely effed. They need me more than ever. I could probably call Kevin Feige right now and say, give me more money.
Yeah.
Give me more money or else I'm not showing up.
Yeah.
And what are they going to do? Look at that Instagram video. Look at this botched New Avengers marketing ploy. They've got to give Robert Downey Jr. more money.
Yeah.
Because that's all they got.
That's all they got.
So, great week for RDJ. Great week for him. Because I think his check is getting doubled after this failed stunt with the New Avengers.
Bad day for the marketing team and the guy who gets coffee for the marketing team because they out on they ass.
Yeah. Great day for tumbleweeds because as a prop, they are now needed in those Disney marketing offices. So yeah, that's where they're at. Listen, this movie made $33 million. It's tracking behind where Captain America 4 did at the same point in time. You know, Anthony D is for Disney D'Alessandro. He theorizes that it will still leg out better because we're in May. It's got a big holiday weekend, summer, and that makes sense.
Yeah.
Captain America 4 was playing in dead of winter. Now the kids are out of school, but they're always out of school. So Thunderbolts asterisk, it'll maybe do better than Captain America 4 when it all legs out, but the new Avengers thing is not some kind of sensation. It's an embarrassment.
It's an embarrassment. It's an absolute embarrassment on all fronts.
So we'll come back in a couple of days with a preview episode. We do have a kind of week. Well, no, we don't have a weekend. This was the weekend for the moms, but the post-Mother's Day weekend next weekend, we're going to have a big newbie. So we'll save that. We'll talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
But things are going to get fired up again next weekend. And then we're off to the races.
Very excited for this movie.
Very excited. Very excited. And that's a tease for the next episode. We won't even say its name.
No.
But the real moms out there, they know.
Yeah.
They know. I mean, listen, this movie that we're teasing is a franchise. And I bet you there were moms who celebrated Mother's Day this weekend who came of box office age when those original movies were coming out.
Oh, they remember the commercials for the first one.
Yeah.
Where they showed the audience reaction to a certain scene.
Yeah.
They saw those commercials. They might have been in that commercial.
There are some current moms who celebrated Mother's Day today who were in the commercial in the audience for the movie that we're teasing right now.
Where they went,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And those moms know.
And they go on YouTube and they look at that commercial
and
in all its like pixelated glory.
Yep.
And they pick themselves out and they say, you know what? I looked good.
Yeah, yeah.
I looked good.
And you know what? For that mom who's doing that, you still look great.
You look great.
You look great.
Yeah.
So those moms know who they are. Other moms are right now very confused.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to guess Sigourney.
Totally confused.
Totally confused. I know my mother-in-law is a big viewer of this show.
Oh, so perplexed.
So perplexed. Yeah. She's confused. My mom, she's probably tapped out a while ago.
Yeah. She only listens to the beginning.
She listens to the beginning and then she looks up SNL clips and, but
she lets it run in the background, which is all we ask for.
Yes. I'm like, watch time is very important for the algorithm.
Stream to completion.
Yes.
If you love us, stream to completion.
Moms, stream to completion.
Yeah.
Please. This Mother's Day, B.O. Boys, stream to completion.
Yeah.
So that's coming up. So big things coming on the B.O. Boys. So, of course, moms, email us, theboboyspodcast@gmail.com. We want to know, what was your Mother's Day like at the box office? What movie did you see? Did you go see Fight or Flight? Did you see Hartnett? Have those couple of hours? Let us know, moms, theboboyspodcast@gmail.com. Moms, 5 stars on Apple Podcasts.
Yes.
All right. And moms, you leave a little review. You could say, I love you, sonny boy. Wish you were my son. 5 stars.
Yeah.
So do that, moms. Of course, moms, subscribe to the Substack. Moms, follow us on social media at the B.O. Boys Pod, on Instagram, on TikTok. And let's give a shout out on Mother's Day. We don't just celebrate the moms. Let's celebrate a special grad.
Yes.
Wanna B.O., VP of Interns, Christopher. He is no longer Penn State.
You're always Penn State.
So he's like more Penn State than ever now that he's graduated.
Like the ask for money is in the mail from Penn State because he is now.
He's a grad.
He's a
grad. Congratulations, Christopher. You did it. You are now in the real world. Welcome to hell, buddy.
Yeah, this is when it gets tough.
It gets good again, but it'll be tough.
But it's around
also
this
good
time
now. Listen, he's upside down at a keg stand for at least the next 5 years.
That's true.
It's fine for Christopher.
Yeah.
He's doing great, but he's now a grad. Congratulations, Christopher.
Mm-hmm.
I am sure his mom is proud.
Yes.
For Mother's Day, Christopher's mom got to celebrate Christopher, and that's all she ever wants.
Yeah, of course.
So good for him. He's cutting those vertical clips, and he will continue to do so post-graduation. So follow us on social media at the B.O. Boys Pod. Of course, subscribe to the YouTube. We are YouTubers.
Hey, guys.
And hey, moms.
Hey, moms.
And yeah, I think that is it. That's all I got on this Mother's Day episode.
Pat, I finished.
Wow.
Call me Griffin Dunn.
Yeah.
And you've said it all.
I could leave then. I'm done.
Except for, until next time, we'll smell you at the box office. Nailed it. Hey, guys.